Hi, I'm Rob Barrett, owner of Barrett Made. We are an architecture and construction firm based out of Portland, Maine. We design and we build everything from a residential project to a commercial project.
If clients are really interested in being a part of the design team and the construction team, we like to encourage them to be really collaborative and work with our design team to create something that works for what they have in their mind. They came to us with that initial idea, so the more we can get them involved, I think the better end result we'll have.
Hi everyone, I'm Connor Clement, your host of Places and Spaces. We have a great season planned. We're going to take you all across the state. Here are some of the faces and friends that will be joining us along the way.
I love Maine because I have a young family and we get to go out and explore the wilderness of Maine and go hiking. Like yesterday, we were in Rangeley and we hiked some mountains and saw the sights, and in the afternoon we made it back to our camp in Newcastle and went swimming in the ocean. So you can't beat that.
I love working at Mainstream because I get to help people achieve a milestone, whether it's a first-time homebuyer, an investor, or a developer. I love being able to show off Maine and show its beauty.
I'm Dot Ollier. I'm a real estate agent with Remax Riverside. I'm also a part-time farmer. We paint, we hay, it's a busy life.
Hi, I'm Britt Vitalis. I grew up in Yarmouth and am now back there raising my family. I just love living in the Portland area and everything Maine has to offer, from mountain biking, tennis, skiing, the mountains and the ocean. It's just the best place to live.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Places and Spaces. We're so excited to take you off the beaten path today to 3 towns that you're going to want to learn more about. Our first stop is here in Richmond. We're going to get a sense of what it means to live like a local, but first, we're going to check in with a town historian who's going to tell us all about Richmond's past.
Richmond was first laid out in 1719 by the Pajevsky proprietors coming out of the Thompson, Brunswick area. And they built a fort at that time, and it was the northernmost fort on the Kennebunk all through the early 1700s until Fort Western and Fort Halifax and Fort Shirley were built upriver. That site is right where the bridge comes across from Dresden, and there's signage there and so on. In 1823, we broke back off from Bodenham, 850 people in 1823, and then it grew mostly through shipbuilding. From 1837 till 1857 is when most of the village was developed, and most of the architecture is Greek Revival, which was popular at that time. After that, there was a big falling out in banking nationwide. Shipbuilding went down, and then the ice industry came along, and the ice industry in the Kennebunk was huge. There were as many as 45 sets of houses. There were 6 and 7 stories tall. They had up to 7 rooms of ice, each of which was larger than a soccer pitch, and they shipped it all around the world. And that was mostly from just after the Civil War until World War I, but the 1880s was a huge boom, and the population picked up again, and there are a lot of houses of that period housing stock. One of the obvious visible historic structures in town is the T.J. Southard House, and if anybody's interested, it is currently on the market. T.J. Southard, who at the age of 11 walked up from Booth Bay Harbor in bare feet and became a blacksmith and then the largest shipbuilder in town, building well over 75 2-, 3-, and 4-masted sailing vessels that were known around the world for their quality. He brought together a couple of houses and made that house for his son, Charles Henry Thomas Jefferson Southard, as a wedding present. And the reason that the tower was put on is that the very top was a water tower, and they had the first flush toilet systems in town. So aside from shipbuilding and the ice industry, other important industries have been the shoe industry, and there have been several mills of cotton, yarns, and so on. One of which still stands down at the waterfront and is being repurposed. Those of us who live here love it because it's an extremely pedestrian place. You can walk everywhere, so it's a pretty tight community. Blue-collar town, always has been. Not a lot of money, but a lot of good people, Richmond people.
So we've learned a little bit about Richmond's past and history. Now we're going to go learn about the real estate market here in town.
Connor, welcome to Richmond.
Dot, great to be here. Thank you so much for meeting me. We just met up with John Robbins, the town historian. He told us all about the rich history, and he told us something you probably already know, that the town's real estate market is booming.
Richmond should be on everybody's list if they're interested in real estate in Maine right now. It's really strategically located. It's on that I-295 corridor between Portland and Augusta that's so popular. We're a little closer to Augusta here, but still an easy drive to Portland, and 2 exits up 295. You can pick up the Turnpike and head over to Lewiston and Auburn. So it's a great location. It's got a strong town center that's just getting stronger every year. Lots of small independent shops and restaurants opening. It's got its own school department, its own paid police and fire, and the architecture is tremendous. You really can see how prosperous this town was in the 18th, 19th, and early 20th centuries.
The architecture, the rich history being here on the shore of the Kennebunk River, and their trade history, their shipbuilding history, and it really all comes to light when you come into town. You go up and down that Main Street strip,
Absolutely.
You see those little shops that you were talking about, and you really feel, you almost feel like you're in a storybook or something.
Yeah,
you know?
it's a very romantic setting,
It
I
absolutely
think.
is, yeah. It's a good spot to be, I think, and you laid it out perfectly. You're so close to Augusta, the state's capital. If you're working in that area, 20-30 minutes down the road, and then Portland, you know, the urban center of Maine, is only 45 minutes or so you're really in a good spot here.
And it's probably the last town along that corridor where real estate is still pretty affordable. We've seen price increases here. We do have limited inventory here, as is true everywhere in Maine. Statewide, our median price right now is around $265,000. Here, it's about $232,000. You can still get a good buy for your money in Richmond, and I think it's poised for greatness.
When it comes to outdoor rec activities in the wintertime, obviously the river freezes over, lots of opportunities for ice fishing if you're into that, snowmobiling, outdoor, cross-country skiing, what have you.
Absolutely. And we're looking right across at Swan Island, which is now a state park of over 2,200 acres, and it's registered with the National Historic Registry. It was populated year-round back in the day, and it's just a fascinating look back at what the Kennebunk estuary was like when logging and shipbuilding were chief industries here. Being someone who sold a few homes here in the Richmond area, I can tell you that my clients have all been delighted with their purchases and with the community they found here. Not only in Richmond, but Dresden on the other side of the river is really they're sister communities. It's, as I said, it's a great community, and it's poised to take off. So pay attention to Richmond.
I'm Peter Bettinger with the Ollier team. I love being a realtor in the state of Maine because it affords me the opportunity to travel to many different communities and towns. Whether it's going to be in Harpswell with a waterfront property, or a condo in Portland, or a single family in Augusta, each market is so unique. And in order for me to do the best job for my clients, it's to be very adaptable in how the market is going and how we can best position ourselves to have the best transaction that we can have.
Welcome back, everyone. We followed the Kennebunk River up to Skowhegan, where there's so much growth and development going on. This former mill town is in the midst of a revitalization, specifically in the downtown area, where there's already a number of thriving businesses, and we're going to learn more about that in just a little bit. But first, we're going to get a history lesson, and no better place to do that than the library, the Margaret Chase Smith Library. She was the first woman to serve in both houses of the United States Congress, and the first woman to represent Maine in either, and she was from right here in Skowhegan.
Hi, I'm David Richards. I'm the director of the Margaret Chase Smith Library in Skowhegan. The Margaret Chase Smith Library is the home of Margaret Chase Smith, and in the 1980s, a library was added on for her papers. And there's also a museum here, and we do educational programs and public affairs programs as well. Margaret Chase Smith was a member of Congress from 1940 to 1973, and what's significant about that is she's one of the first women who did that. First woman to serve in both the House of Representatives and the United States Senate, and one of the first women to run for President of the United States in 1964. She came from very humble circumstances, and that she rose to the level that she did, again, being a woman at a time when women didn't have lots of rights and opportunity. I always like to point out when she graduated from Skowhegan High School in 1916, women still didn't have the right to vote. That wasn't going to come until 1920, but she rose up to be at that level of being in Congress and running for President of the United States. The Margaret Chase Smith Library, just by virtue of the name, there is a library archive function here. People come to do research on her papers. We do lots of educational programs. Ideally, school groups coming here, but over the past 2 years we've had to do more virtually. And then we do public affairs programs, oftentimes in conjunction with the Margaret Chase Smith Policy Center, which is at the University of Maine. And then we do try to be involved in the community as well. The house was built in 1948. When she left Congress in 1973, she came home, Senator Smith came home to Skowhegan and had the library built as a repository for her papers. The library opened in 1982. And from that point, well, I should mention from 82 until she passes away in 1995. She's right here. She's part of the experience of people coming to the library. And again, we've had these functions of education, public affairs, the museum and library. We still get lots of researchers, and like I say, when the pandemic isn't going on, we do lots of work with school groups, trying to promote her legacy. Thank you for learning about the Margaret Chase Smith Library. We hope you have the chance to come here. While the pandemic is going on, it's by reservation, but hopefully our doors will be fully open soon, and we hope you'll take the opportunity to come to Skowhegan and learn more about Margaret Chase Smith and what she stood for.
Well, Dave, thanks so much for making the introduction here at the Margaret Chase Smith Library. There's so much history in this building, and it's great to know a little bit more about who Margaret Chase Smith was as a person, and to just be in this building. It's amazing.
Yeah, thanks, Connor. I got to appreciate this place. We came here for an annual meeting, and when I saw all of the history, I thought I got to introduce more people to this wonderful community asset.
Yeah, you guys have deep roots here in the community. Lots of exciting things going on here.
Definitely. We were formed in 1869, and our charter was signed by Joshua Chamberlain, actually. So yeah, we've got a long history here. It's nice to see all of the progress. We really think of our community as an ocean, and if we can rise the tide, all boats are going to come with it. So it's a pleasure.
Well, Dave, we're going to learn more about the growth and development here in Skowhegan at a local business in just a little bit. And then later, I'm going to catch back up with you at a theater in Madison, which has a lot of history. And I know you always wanted to play a leading role.
Not quite,
but we'll learn more about that later on. So I'll see you then.
Great. Look forward to it.
Every road has its challenges. We say, bring them on. At Honda, we engineer each vehicle to outthink obstacles, to overcome difficult conditions. We engineer them for drivers who are determined to power through, just like you are. Rise to the challenge with the rugged performance of the Honda Ridgeline, Pilot, and CR-V.
"2020 was a big year for Barrett Made. We actually turned 5 years old. You know, it forced me to look back on how we've grown and where we've come from, and how Sydney and I, when we first started out, we would buy buildings and we fix them up ourselves, and that was really the genesis of Barrett Made. And what we learned from that process, we still use today. So, you know, we ask these questions to our clients: how would you use the house? How should we program it? What are your goals to get out of this project? And we try to make it easy through open communication and putting everything on the table and making sure everybody's on the same page.
Hi, welcome everybody. We are Kennebunk Center for Health and Rehabilitation. We are located in the beautiful village of Kennebunk, Maine. We offer both skilled rehabilitation and nursing services, as well as long-term care. There's a lot of life and compassion here. And so I want folks to know that we are here to serve our residents, patients, as well as our team. They are a resilient, cohesive, incredible team, and I am proud to be their leader.
The mortgage experience here is significantly different, we believe, from other institutions. You're going to find a community banker or a mortgage officer that wants to talk to you and will return your calls. We offer a bi-weekly product, which very few institutions do, that save you a significant amount of money over the life of your loan. You pay it off almost 7 years early. And then land loans. We have done a ton of land loans this year with the demand in the home market. People are looking to build, and they start that process by purchasing their land. Customers can expect an amazing experience. They will always find somebody to talk to. Additionally, we have an online chat feature on our website, so there are multiple ways that you can connect with us.
So I talked about the growth and development going on here in town. One of the businesses that's in the midst of some of that is Bigelow Brewing Company. They've been in business here in Skowhegan for nearly a decade.
Welcome to Bigelow Brewing. My name is Jeff Powers. I'm co-owner of Bigelow. My wife and I started the brewery, and we were licensed in 2013. We're the 47th brewery licensed in the state of Maine. We're a family-friendly atmosphere. We have infants to 90-year-olds that attend the brewery. The brewery's become a gathering place, more so than a place to come and drink. I mean, it's just people bring their dogs. It's a good place to just relax and communicate with people. At the brewery, we have an indoor tasting room. Where you're standing right now is an outside tasting area. We've got about 2 acres of land that we fenced off and we utilize as an outdoor tasting area. We do music on Fridays, Saturdays. In the summer, we do it on Sundays as well. We have a wood-fired pizza oven that was made here in Skowhegan that we utilize year-round. So we do wood-fired pizzas. In the wintertime, we'll be doing bonfires outside. We've got fire pits out here that we're running to keep people warm, try and keep people socially distanced. Skowhegan's a fantastic business community. We work well together. I mean, there's a lot of new energy in Skowhegan. There are a lot of things happening. We're proud to be a part of that.
Welcome to Skowhegan and welcome to Bigelow Brewing. We are excited. They have expanded once, looking to expand again, so the bank and local community efforts hope to help them in that. Skowhegan Savings' mission is to make our communities a better place to live and work. One of the ways we do that is to help new businesses, help expanding businesses, and work with organizations like Somerset Economic Development Corporation and Christian in all of his efforts for broadband, for tourism activities, and also to help businesses.
It's an exciting time for the Skowhegan area, both business sense and outdoor recreation. We have a lot of new businesses opening and some current businesses expanding. So any way our organization can be part of that is great. You know, with the outdoor recreation, we have the Run River project, years in the making, and they've made some really good progress. We have Eaton Mountain looking to reopen, and we're helping redevelop that as well. And really it takes our organization and countless others in partnerships with the bank and business owners to really make this community, you know, what it is. And so it's an exciting time, and you know, we're excited to be part of it.
Well, Christian, Connor, thank you for joining us here today, and cheers to everything going on in Skowhegan.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We have big plans at Bigelow Brewing for the future growth for Bigelow and for the town. We're moving our brewery to a downtown location. We purchased an 80,000 square foot mill in downtown Skowhegan, plan on revitalizing that building, bringing it back to what it was like when it was originally built. So, and it'll be great for Bigelow, but it'll be better for the town. I mean, it'll be a focal point for people when they drive through Skowhegan. Thanks for stopping by Bigelow. Hope to see you at the brewery at some point in the future.
Our mission here at Aerostol is exactly as our tagline says. It is to help women love what's underneath. Not only the garments and the pieces that they're putting on their body, but the body that they're putting it on. There is nothing more satisfying than when we are working with a woman and she is trying on lingerie for perhaps the first time, whether she's looking for something that's comfortable, something that's beautiful, or maybe something that's a little fun. To see her face light up in the fitting room, that is so worth it.
Maine is such a special place to me, and I really enjoy exploring from the coast to the country. Selling real estate for me goes beyond the transaction, and if you've considered selling, I'd love to just sit down with you, put a plan in place that really makes sense to meet your real estate and financial goals in the future. So check out our website or give us a call. We would love to hear from you.
Welcome back, everyone. Our last stop of the day here in Madison to visit the historical Lakewood Theater. It's known as the oldest and longest running summer theater in the country.
Welcome to the Lakewood Theater. I'm Jeff Quinn, and I've been working here for 37 years. The Lakewood Theater is a historical landmark to start with. It's on the National Register of Historical Places. It's the oldest continuously operating summer theater in the country. The first play was put on in June 16, 1901, which makes us coming up on our 122nd season. Currently, we put on 9 productions. It's an 18-week season. Usually we have 3 musicals. We have a variety of what we call straight plays, which is non-musical shows, farces, comedies, and occasionally dramedies. A lot of our actors will come from Bangor, Augusta, Gardner. I have some from Lewiston, Waterville, and Skowhegan in the area here. And the staff is usually local people, meaning Somerset, Kennebunk County, but our actors draw from all over the state. The theater was formed in 1907 by a gentleman named Herbert Sweat, who was from Bangor, a native. He just graduated from Bowdoin and was offered a job to take care of the estate of a General Shepherd. He came up to Skowhegan and ran the complex and eventually bought the complex. And in 1926, the theater that you see today, this is the last major renovation of the theater. It went through many. And he knew nothing about theater, but he did know business. And he actually built the cottages that were here as a resort, the golf course, the restaurant, the theater. He was a pretty amazing individual. We do own the restaurant next door, and the golf course is privately owned. What makes this place unique? Boy, that's a hard question. You have to be here. One of the things that makes it unique in Maine is that it is actually a theater. It is not a city hall, it's not a municipal building, it's not a Grange Hall. I've done all those, but this is a theater. It was built as a theater and remains as one. So any of our actors that come here are really mesmerized by the facility. And I mean, we're not high tech. Many people will come here who've been here in the past and they go, oh my God, it still smells the same. And I said, yeah, it does. It's the same as it always was. And it's just oh, it's so trite, but it's such a magical, special place that it's hard to walk away from. Our goal here is to maintain the facility that we have. Some people may call it a money pit. We do it with love, and we've upgraded. We have a new roof. We are adding heaters so that perhaps we can go longer into the season. Never full-time, but it would be nice. We're getting new stage equipment. We bought a new curtain. We renovated all the chairs here, refinished those. So it's the building itself is quite structurally sound, so it's not really in bad shape. We're going to be opening for our 122nd season next May, the end of the month, and run through the end of September. And I invite you to come see any of our shows. All of them would be great. And please think of us. It's a magical experience, and I'm sure that you're going to love it.
Dave, I don't know about you, but I think I'm ready to see a production here in the Lakewood Theater now.
No doubt. Imagine being here in the 20s or when John Travolta was on stage. It must have been quite a show.
John Travolta was on stage here?
Apparently, that's what I read.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Well, that's incredible. I mean, there's so much history in this building. We learned about the history at the Margaret Chase Smith Library earlier. Then we went to Bigelow Brewing and talked to some folks about the growth and development in Skowhegan. There's really just a lot going on in town right now, and it's an exciting time to be here.
Well, thanks for showcasing Skowhegan and some of these great places that we have. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Can't wait to come back. That's going to do it for this week's episode of Places and Spaces. Thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Places and Spaces Maine or on Facebook at Maine Life Media. And if there's a place or space that you'd like featured on the show, be sure to shoot us an email. That's going to do it for us this week. We'll see you guys next time.